Welcome back to FlexCandle, where we read the candles and flex the moves. I'm Flex, and today we're diving into a full top-down analysis on Bitcoin. We're going to start from the higher time frames, work our way down to the lower time frames, and check to see if we find any good setups. Now remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades. Always do your own research and trade at your own risk. All right, guys. So right now it's about 6 p.m. Eastern time. It's Sunday and the weekly candle closes today at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So we're about 2 hours away from the candle closing. A lot can happen from here to then. Sometimes some wacky stuff happens. The prices all of a sudden drop, and then by the candle close, they come back up. Sometimes they go up, and then when the candle closes, we get a severe drop. A lot of things could still happen from here to then. Today I wanted to start off with the 2-week chart. I want to talk about a lot of bearish scenarios and also a lot of bullish scenarios. So the first bullish scenario that I'm seeing here is that the stochastics are low and we still have a lot of room to come back up. Of course, they can also roll over, and then obviously that's bearish, but right now this is looking good, and this looks like it's going to continue going up for right now. What I'm not liking here is that if we do roll over and this turns into a wick, then this is starting to look similar to this side where we couldn't get above certain levels, and then this could be some sort of a double top. We have to be weary about that. We head over now to the weekly chart. The stochastics are starting to get a little toppy, but we could definitely stay up here for a little bit and drag before we end up falling down. We are kind of far away from the 21-day moving average though, which is currently at 93,479, so that's not that good. We might be going sideways. You know, maybe this could be some type of a flag that ends up happening sideways and then we pull up from there. But what I'm not liking also is that, look, so far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles in a row that have been green. This could be the 7th candle. Again, we could go up and clear out this wick and all of a sudden we're closing at 112 today. Hopefully that happens, but then again, that's going to be 7 candles in a row. How many more candles could be green? Unless we're going to go on a massive bull run with no pullbacks right now for like the next month or something like that, then I could definitely see them. Then that's probably going to be the blow off top. But if not, I wouldn't be mad if this candle right here closes slightly red, just indecisive but a little bit red, just so that we could get some sort of a red candle there, and then the next couple green ones could make sense. So it could be like how we were green here, green, then you see like this is red but it's still kind of a bullish red, and then we got green. So hopefully that could happen here. If not, we get another candle in a row and then another one next week. Maybe that's when the stochastics top out here and then we start falling down again. Double top could be in play. We have to be careful. I also am thinking that this could be a inverted head and shoulder pattern where right here we come down, meet the 21-day moving average, round out, and then we blast up from there. So let's see what ends up happening. Currently I have this weekly in a falling wedge, and we have broken out most of the move. This is taking us to about 117, 118. So this is what I think could happen. We could definitely get a couple more green candles, hit this, and then from there start tracing back and start testing, you know, the upper 110s, 111 levels. Now on the other days, I'm just gonna look at the stochastics. It'll let me predict a little bit better how long these stochastics on the weekly will continue going. And on the 6th day, we're starting to turn, but it looks like we could drag here a little bit. 5-day, still we have room. 4-day, we got room. 3-day, we're starting to roll over. That doesn't mean we can't come back up, but we have to pay attention to this. I'm not liking this kind of like a topping tail. We're far away from the 21-day moving average. That's a 93,702, and you know, we could start falling down here, so we have to be careful. On the 2-day, we're already really coming down from these stochastics here. This is a red engulfing candle, and now we're looking to probably have another candle here. So this closes in about a day and 3 hours, so let's see what ends up happening. By that time, the 21-day moving average could be higher up, and maybe we don't have to drop as far. And then here on the daily, we're not that far away from the 21-day moving average. Currently it's at 104,160. Bitcoin is currently right now at 107,555, so less than $3,000 away. So if we were to fall and then bounce back up from there, that would be beautiful as well. The stochastics here, you know, I was predicting that we were going to get a bull, and we kind of did get a bull here, but then we dropped down. But honestly, I wanted us to continue going up and maybe continue going sideways, but you never know. Maybe this could turn around just like how it turned around here and we didn't have to go all the way down. Now we take a look at the 22-hour chart. chart, the stochastics are on the way down. We are above the 21-day moving average, so it's important that we hold this level. And you know, the 22-hour might turn around quickly, and maybe we can continue to go up a little bit. Take a look at the 8-hour chart, and the 8-hour chart, the stochastics are on the way down. Again, they could stay here for a little bit. Look at this scenario here where we could have went up here, but instead we rolled over. Look, like we never have really made it all the way back up until now, and you never know what's going to happen here. And here we're losing the 21-day moving average, so that's not a good sign either. If we continue to go down, we might have to test the 50-day moving average here, which is currently at 105,382. Head over to the 4-hour chart, and the 4-hour chart, the stochastics here, this is a little bit more bullish. They're low and on the way up, but again, we could drag here a little bit. Look how long we dragged over here in this scenario before we came up, so anything's possible. One thing that I'm not liking is this kind of looks like a head and shoulder pattern. So this is the shoulder, the head, the shoulder, and this is kind of like the midline. The measured move will be the top of the head to the neckline, and I'm not going to draw the line, but more or less this definitely looks like it could drop you also to about 104 or something like that, 103. So that's a possible scenario. We're also below the 21-day moving average. That is definitely not bullish. We do need to reclaim that. That's currently at 108,854. So the faster we can reclaim this 21-day moving average, the more bullish we would get. If not, right now the 50-day moving average is holding us up. Then we could start going down to test the 80, the 100, and we definitely need to stay above this 200-day moving average to remain bullish, and that's at 100,000. So hopefully we won't go all the way there. Something that is good, this indicator, I don't really talk too much about it, but today I will. This is the VRVP, the visible range volume profile, and this basically shows you where there's a lot of support, like a lot of buying that's happening. And as you can see, we made it to the top here of the channel. There's not so much support up here, there's a lot of support here. So before we hit that 200-day moving average, we should have some type of support here, but if we lose this, we'll easily fall down because there's hardly any support in this. Look how small this is. This, the longer and bigger it is, the more support you have there. And the top of this support is at 103, and then the second level is like at 102,900. So we should have support there. That would also make sense with the daily 21-day moving average. If we do fall down to touch this, the stochastics are low, we're not too far away, and that's at 104,156. So this is kind of showing me that it's possible that we could come down to touch this, or maybe we just go sideways and the 21 touches price, and from there we could continue going up. One thing I forgot to mention here about the daily, sorry about that, is the golden cross also is already happening. So this is giving me the confidence that even if we have a small downturn, I think the golden cross will help us continue to be bullish, and we might pop up from there. All right, so let's continue on the 4-hour. The 4-hour, I do have it in a falling wedge pattern. You guys remember I drew it somewhere up here, and just look how it has been tracing it all the way through, and it looked like we broke out here a little bit, but again, a red candle is forming. We have to see how this closes in about 2 hours. So the measured move to this is about 118,000. So this is the move that I'm expecting to take us to about 117 through 120. Let's take a look now at the 1-hour chart. The stochastics are a little bit toppy. We are below the 21-day moving average. We just kind of got above it, and we just held support here on the 200-day moving average, which is at 107,112. If we lose this, we start to get a little bit bearish, and then the next stop is going to be the 200-day moving average on the 2-hour. That's going to be at 105. We lose that, and there's the next one on the 3-hour, which is 102. And then if we lose that, this is where we have to test the 4-hour. This is the one that we really do not want to lose. We cannot afford to go below $100,000 Bitcoin. Take a look at the 15-minute. The 15-minute, the stochastics look nasty. They're already on the way down. We're below the 200-day moving average. We held some support here on the 21-day moving average, and it looks like we're on the way up. So this is giving me a little bit more hope. A pattern that I'm seeing here as well is this kind of looks like a double bottom. This also looks like a cup and handle that could move us up. This could even be a inverted head and shoulders where the other shoulder's forming now, or this could also be an inverted head and shoulder where this is the shoulder, this is the head. We come up, then we come down, make another shoulder, and then blast off from there. So I'm seeing some type of scenario like that happening where we're just going sideways and playing around in the same range until we get a little bit more strength, and then we could break out. That's basically how I see Bitcoin going. We'll probably play around between $104,000 $110,000, and then consolidate a little bit more to be able to break out to approximately 120. All right, so that's the breakdown. If this gave you clarity or a setup to watch, do me a favor, like, drop a comment, subscribe, and if you have a stock or crypto you want me to go over, drop it in the comment section. This is FlexCandle, where we read the candles and flex the moves. Catch you on the next chart.